everybody, I'm David here, and welcome to the next episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts. Let me just do some last minute uh, promotions here real quick. How is everybody doing on this Friday, August 1st, 2025? And yes, happy Friday to Justin. Our interview with Isaac will be coming up in just a little bit after my quick, I guess, cold open, but I would call it hot open because I have some rants that I want to talk about real quick. First of all, August, I hate it. I hate the month of August because everybody's going back to school, everybody's going back from work, from depending if they have summer vacation during that time. Let me see. The people you know that goes to college goes back to college. Can we just please have everybody go back to school until after Labor Day? Please. It happened like once or twice in my lifetime over 10 years ago. Okay? Just please move like the Monday after Labor Day. Labor Day is supposed to be the official day of fall and the last day of summer. Start a GoFundMe for that because I don't know what the heck people policies think it's okay for people to go back to school. Second thing, I hate. Can we please get rid of that? People are going, at 4 or 5 p.m. and it's dark out. Especially at 4 o'clock in my area anyway. For those who live in LA or California, you folks are lucky. For people to traffic and it's completely pitch dark out. Seriously, what? I really hope Donald Trump can actually get rid of this daylight savings time for our own safety, God's sakes. I don't care who the president is, even if Danny Lewis was the president or Joe Little was the president in the future. Just please, somebody get rid of daylight savings, okay? And then finally, I wanted to talk about, before we get to the interview, because I don't waste any more time with that, the Cindy Sweeney controversy type of thing. Why is it getting backlash? And when I'm seeing the commercial on Facebook, there is completely nothing wrong with it, okay? People saying it's racist, it's against, woke or whatever. I'm not going to get into the full details because, I haven't gone over the full story yet because I've been busy touching grass because that's what people should do. Like this one comment I saw on the article, you have absolutely nothing to apologize for. Someone commented on whatever. If you want to hate on this ad campaign, please go touch grass. Thank you for doing that. Comment, because it is completely ridiculous that when I watched that, there was absolutely nothing wrong with that commercial. It's an old school remake, I guess, commercial from what people used to look like, way back then. So I don't get it. It's been a crazy week with the rain yesterday and all the shenanigans. It's a completely bullcrap world. But anyway, let's go to the interview right now, Sully. Alright, everyone, I'm here with our next interview segment here. Here with Isaac. How are you doing, Isaac?
I'm good. How are you, David? It's great to be with you.
Same with you as well. And it is that time of the year where everybody's talking about football, as is right around the corner. College football season is starting up very soon. I believe it's on August 23rd for some teams. And for those who don't know who Isaac is, he is the host of the Lockdown North Carolina podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or however you listen to your podcast. So tell us on how you got into the Lockdown Sports Network business.
Yeah, Dave, that's a great question. So I actually started my sports media career writing. Actually started my own blog. I didn't go about it the smart way of like going to school and getting trained and getting an internship or something. I just started writing my own blog and eventually my way up and started writing for Sports Illustrated's North Carolina site. And then out of that, Locked On actually reached out to me and said, hey, we're looking for a host for our Locked On Tar Heels show. Would you be interested in it? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I've never hosted. So I auditioned for that and I got it. And so I've been doing that about 3.5 years now. And then about a year into that, I also started hosting Locked On's National College Basketball show. And so it's just kind of been a progression of working my way forward and up through it. And I tell you, David, it's an absolute blast, as I know you know about doing hosting podcasts. And it's just so cool to get to talk about sports and talk about the young men and women that play these games and help share those stories.
Very cool, and good idea of not going to college because to me it's a scam. Okay, don't go to college. Okay. I never been to college, but I heard it's a scam to certain people, and certain celebrities have dropped out of college and became successful. So there you go. So how did they discover you to ask you to host this podcast, or how many podcasts you're doing for them?
Yeah, so for Locked On, for those who are unaware, it was actually started by a guy named David Locke, which is where the name comes from. He's the play-by-play guy for the Utah Jazz. And so he started a daily show for the Jazz that extended out to the rest of the NBA, started a show for all of them, and then MLB, NFL, NHL, and college sports as well. And so each of those, like the college channel has a boss. And so he was looking around for different people for different shows. And I think just happened upon my content and started looking at it and eventually was like, hey, I think this guy might have something. And so it wasn't like I was just offered the job, thankful, or I had to do an audition. And so there's that kind of like, hey, am I going to get this or not, especially having never done it. But yeah, I think ultimately, to answer your question, just discovered from my writing and from my social media presence.
Okay, and how many podcasts you're doing right now for them? I lost track there.
You're good. I host two shows, so Locked On Tar Heels and Locked On College Basketball.
Oh, college basketball. Okay, that's cool. What teams do you like to follow in college basketball other than your North Carolina?
Yeah, it's interesting. I like a lot of them, honestly. I've always been a massive college basketball fan. Like I grew up just loving it. So for me, really, it's just about like I just love college basketball. And so there, I think you kind of fall in love with certain coaches and certain players and certain storylines.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just a fan of the game in total. And that's the thing for me in a similar way to, people like Dick Vitale, who have just been like a champion of college basketball. He just loves it and wants the world to fall in love with college basketball. And I think that's kind of how I feel, is I just want to share the stories and help people fall in love with it.
Yeah, I was so happy when he returned at the end of this past season. I really like watching his games, and I don't really have a favorite team, but I do like. It really depends on the announcers who's announcing it, and also I do like my New England teams as well, so it's pretty cool. Also at the oldest arena in Boston for both college basketball and hockey, so that's pretty cool. Into the game of college football,
just kind of differently. I fell in love with college basketball first through my mom. I grew up on the south side of Atlanta, Georgia, and so I grew up a massive Braves fan. That's still probably my first and biggest love. But she was a big Georgia Bulldogs fan. I liked Georgia Tech, and so we kind of butted heads in a fun way because most people in the Atlanta area are Bulldogs fans, and so I guess I went the wrong route with that. But really started to like football so much coming out of that and her love and my family's love of it. And so that's probably really where my football fandom came from, is that. But it probably really wasn't until, gosh, maybe my late teens or early 20s where I started to, from a football standpoint, like really dig into the weeds on it and start to appreciate all the different roles and what everybody could do. I was born in 1984. So like the early 90s when the Cowboys were just going crazy was really probably when I first started paying attention to college football and to the NFL in a big way. And so, names like Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, like those Cowboys teams were probably where I first really, truly remember being a big football fan.
All right. And how did he made your North Carolina football team your favorite team to go cover?
I mean, honestly, it came out of, for so long, it was Georgia Tech that was my favorite team in college football. And then once I became because what's cool about getting to cover the Tar Heels is they really truly are my favorite college basketball team. And because of once I started actually covering them was when I know that as a journalist, you're supposed to be impartial and do those things. But one of the nice things about Locked On is they encourage both of that. Like they really want us to ride the energy of the fan base. And so because of covering the Tar Heels at that level, I've really fallen more and more in love with all the teams. So the football team have come to really enjoy that. But also North Carolina, one of the things that's cool about them is they have 28 varsity sports at the school, which is more than the vast majority of the ACC programs outside of the new California teams that came in, Stanford and Cal, and then wildly more than the SEC. There's been all this noise lately about Carolina going to the SEC. The SEC doesn't support 7 of Carolina's varsity athletics. And so I've really come to fall in love with all 28 of these sports. And in fact, on our show on Locked On Tar Heels, we've coined a phrase called Project 28, where we're like trying to champion all 28 sports. And so that's been a really cool side of my coverage of the Tar Heels, is really becoming a fan of all of these teams.
That's pretty awesome. And what to expect from this college football team going into around a month from now with Bill Belichick? And did you ever expect Bill Belichick to go to your team?
I'll answer that last question first. Absolutely not, David. It's crazy to ever think, like it wouldn't have even been something to cross your mind, right? Because he's been an NFL guy for so long. And so it's not because North Carolina isn't this nationally elite.
It's more of a basketball program.
Exactly. And so it's like Belichick coming to college and Bill Belichick coming to North Carolina. Like both sides of that are so far beyond imagination or any thought that you would have had that, yeah, it's crazy to think about. And then to your first question about expectations for North Carolina this year, dude, your guess is as good as mine, as good as my 6-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son sitting out there. One of the things, and you know this as a Patriots guy, David, one of the things that Bill Belichick does so much is plays everything so close to the vest that he's only going to tell you what he's forced to tell you. Why? Because any morsel of information that you give to your opponent is ammunition for them to be able to beat you. And so as we speak, North Carolina is about a week away from starting fall camp. And I think truly only then, and maybe not even then, because I'm sure they'll keep that under cloak and dagger, will we really start to learn more about who North Carolina is going to be, how they're going to play. Famously, as often happened with the Patriots, Carolina didn't have a spring game. They had a thing they called practice like a pro. And during that, which the public was invited to, no names or numbers on jerseys, right? Or no names on jerseys. And so nobody who are you? And so there's just a complete lack of Carolina could win 4 games or 10 games, and neither of those outcomes would shock me this year. One of the things I think going in their favor is they do have quite a manageable ACC schedule. It's not too bad. Their non-conference schedule, there's no obvious losses in that either. There's 2 games against, essentially bye games that they should easily win. And then their other 2 non-conference games against high major opponents are hosting TCU on Labor Day, standalone game to kick off the season. And then they go down to Orlando to play UCF. So those are the 2 toughest non-con games. And then from there,
UCF and what's the other one?
TCU. They host TCU on Labor Day to kick off the season. So that'll be crazy because that's Bill Belichick's first game, standalone game on Labor Day. That's going to be crazy. And their hardest ACC game is a home game, and it's the first ACC game of the season. They host Clemson after a week off. And so, probably you're going to lose that football game, but I feel like it's the best scenario for the potential of winning it because it's early in ACC play, it's at home, and it's coming off an off week. So we'll see what happens. But again, expectations all over the board, and your guess is as good as mine.
Are they better at home or away the past couple of years?
Definitely at home.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's like, throw all of that out the door because there are, David, listen to this is an insane number. There are 70 new players on this team, 40 transfers and 30 freshmen coming in.
Wow.
And so that's why I say it's like you almost can't even look at past performance because you got this whole new coaching staff and a whole group of new players. And so just that's part of maybe the fun and the terrifying nature of this season is you just don't know.
Absolutely. How many games they're usually at home? Like 1, 2.
It'll be 6. So one of the unique wrinkles of this schedule, and you can look at it as you look at their schedule there, David. I know you had it on the screen a second ago. Is literally North Carolina bounces back and forth home and away every game. So they start at home against TCU, they go to Charlotte, and then it's literally back and forth home and away the entire season. It's a rarity that I'm not. You're not used to seeing, really.
Yeah, I looked at Boston College's schedule. Bill Bryan, his former OC, is like it's not back and forth like that schedule. So I don't know. Do you think that honestly helps a college football team where they know the routine? Oh, this week we're going to be at home, and the week after it's going to be away. Does that help a lot for a team?
But it's like you'd also, as a player, you'd love to have a chunk of I know that I'm going to be home for the next 4 weeks or whatever it is, right? I think that would be great. But to your point, I certainly don't think it hurts to get into that rhythm of this week we're at home and then we got to go on the road. And so I think there is something to that where they can get into a routine and rhythm, but I think it's also going to be hard not being at home. But I will say this, David, even though it bounces back and forth, if you look at the last 4 games of the season, they host Stanford. So that's nice. Not having to go cross country, although they do go play at Cal this year, but they host Stanford. They go to Wake Forest, then they host Duke, and then they go to NC State. So literally in the month of November, Carolina never leaves the state of North Carolina because their only 2 away games are at Wake Forest and at NC State. And so that is where I think you can really settle in the last month of the season and feel comfortable, sleep in your own bed almost every night. And so I think that's where, yes, you're in that home away rhythm, but you're also never leaving the state. And that's a massive win, especially at the end of the season where your body is broken down and done and tired.
Yeah, great point on that. And what is North Carolina's biggest rivalry for football? Because I know for basketball it's Duke, but what about for football?
That's a great question. NC State for football. I think people that were, and I guess I would include myself in this, that were basketball fans first and then football fans of North Carolina, assume that it's Duke because the Duke rivalry is so strong in basketball.
Yeah.
But what folks might not know is that historically, NC State was the bigger basketball rivalry. And the same is true. Like Roy Williams, Carolina's, 3-time national championship winning coach, like detests NC State, cannot stand them. He cared more about beating them than Duke, even in, like as the head coach of the Tar Heels from 03-04 all the way up through the 2020-21 season. But on the football field, man, it's like there is still the rivalry with Duke, and you never want to lose to Duke. But
Belichick caught them out, so
yeah. It hits different with NC State. Like there is a burning hatred and passion and fuel between North Carolina and NC State that it's just different in football. In the Locked On Network, our Locked On NC State co-host, his name is Kenton Gibbs. He was an NC State defensive lineman. He's also the co-host of Locked On ACC. And that dude, like, he and I have a great relationship, right? Like, it's just, you play it up for the camera and stuff like that. But that dude entity, like, cannot stand the Tar Heels. And it's pretty funny.
That's interesting right there. What do you think is the second biggest rivalry in football? Do you have a second?
For North Carolina? It's got to be Duke. After NC State, it's Duke.
Other than Duke,
Okay, I would probably say Virginia, and here's why. North Carolina and Virginia have the South's oldest rivalry. They've been playing for a long time. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what year it goes back to, but it is this crazy rivalry, and it's literally known as the South's oldest rivalry. And so I would probably say, have to say that as the oldest. 1892. I just looked it back up. Was the first time they played, and they've played almost every year since.
That's interesting. Do you go to the college football games, or do you just watch them at home?
Great question. So I actually live in Missouri. So I rarely get over to North Carolina itself. So usually I'm covering it from afar, which actually as a podcaster has turned out to be a helpful thing for me, because one of the things I do for North Carolina is after every football and basketball game, I go live, do a live show, a live postcast. And so that means almost immediately after the final buzzer sounds, I'm able to go live on YouTube and just provide different coverage in that way that people actually at the stadium aren't able to do because they're off at the press conference and doing other duties that they have.
Okay, because I thought with the role as covering the team, you might have access to press conferences or whatever that you might be interested in doing.
Well, what's interesting is during COVID, I did, because everything was on Zoom. So that made it all very accessible to me. For sure.
Okay. Have you thought about going to any away games as well, or just going to stick at home?
Yep. No, I'll do that. Go to quite a few away games when I can. Living in Missouri, for example, like on my other show for Locked On College Basketball, I will go cover, like, the Big 12 tournament is always in Kansas City, just about 2 hours north of me. So I'll go do that. So, and with SMU in the ACC now, I'll probably try to go when North Carolina plays at SMU, because Dallas isn't that far from me. And I've got family in the Dallas area. So.
Okay. What do we expect for your Locked On College Football podcast for this upcoming season? Are we going to have any guests on a weekly basis? Are you going to have Bill Belichick on? I hope. I wish. Is there anything that we can expect about that?
So there are hosts that I have, or guests that I have on kind of recurringly. And so sometimes, for example, just earlier this week, I had one of North Carolina's incoming linebackers, Kamori House, was on the show. And I have, rotate in several people. Basketball coach in the state of Oklahoma. He was actually one of Brady Manick's basketball coaches. You have him on. And then there's another gentleman who is the head basketball coach at Milligan University in Tennessee, but he works North Carolina's basketball camp and has a very close relationship with all those coaches. His name is Bill Robinson. So he comes on my show regularly. And then I have other, like former players. So a guy named Tyler Zeller was the 2012 ACC Player of the Year in basketball, and is the color analyst on Carolina's basketball game. So I've had him on just a couple of weeks ago. Tyler Hansbrough, who's the leading scorer in Carolina basketball history, has come on the show a couple times. So, just get guests rotating in and out. Have some that are regulars. And so it's a lot of fun getting to have all these conversations.
Oh yeah, definitely. What do you what is your predictions? Do you think you're gonna go to the postseason this? What is your baseline? I mean, just say what you'll be satisfied with, and do you think they're gonna go to the playoffs?
So FanDuel has North Carolina's win total at an over/under of 7.5 games. I think that they will get over that because of the easiness of the schedule that we talked about earlier. As I said earlier, nothing would shock me, good or bad, about this season. Going to the playoffs is going to be very difficult. Obviously, you got a really strong Clemson team. I think Louisville is going to be really good this year. We saw SMU make the playoffs in their first year in the ACC last year. So Carolina has some things that they got to contend with. Interestingly, and Miami should kind of be back this year. What's interesting, though, is of those 4 schools I mentioned, literally the only one of them they play is Clemson, and that's at home. And so there is this world in which Carolina's schedule might allow them, to sneak in to the ACC championship game. And who knows what might happen with that. And then in terms of what I'd be satisfied with, I think in this first year for Bill Belichick, you're really just looking like, can they win at least 6 games and make a bowl game? I think that you asked about baseline. I think that is kind of the baseline. And, in basketball, you're trying to make the NCAA tournament every year. In football, that baseline is, hey, let's make a bowl game. And I think that would be ultimately a success for year one for Bill Belichick.
All right, that's good. What do you like to do to prepare to watch the games? Do you like to watch the ESPN or Fox show, or what do you like to do?
On a Saturday, just kind of my game day routine? Like game day is the show of choice in the Schade family household. We wake up on Saturdays, turn it on, make some breakfast, get some coffee, and hang out. But a lot of times that becomes background noise for me because I'm doing a lot of prep on notes and continuing to look at the other team, making sure I've got all my game day stuff ready to go, just because there's a lot of coverage that I have to do. And a lot of that truly will depend on what time kickoff is for Carolina on that day. If I live in Central Time, so a noon kick is 11 a.m. for me. The 3:30 kick is 2:30, and the 8 o'clock game, thankfully, is 7 o'clock. So I love that about being in Central Time. So yeah, usually we have game day on, but I'm doing a lot of note taking and other prep as well, and trying to hang out with my family, man. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. There's also the Fox noon kickoff, I think it's called as well. They have upgraded their cast a little bit, which is going to be interesting to see. But there's both options there to check out. But anyway, is there anything else that you want to promote? Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, great question. I think the things I would say is just would love to have you, if you're wanting to hear more about Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels, check out Locked On Tar Heels. It's all 5 days of the work week, Monday through Friday. Once we're back in season, we'll also have live post game of every football game. If you're a college basketball fan, come check out Locked On College Basketball. It's also all 5 days of the week. It's myself and my co-host Andy Patton always coming at you on there. So if you have a favorite school, we're talking social media-wise, I'm most active on Schade. Schade has a C in it. It's weird. It's a German word, but there you go.
All right. That'll be it for this interview. And I'll be right back after these words.
The following is a public service announcement from David 3000.
Yankees suck.
This has been a public service announcement from David 3000.
Hello?
Get James warming up.
Excuse me?
Come on, guys, quit playing games. Get Bobby up right now.
I think you might have the wrong number.
What? Who's this?
Who's this? Brother, you called me. You got the wrong number,
Hey,
okay?
I don't know what you guys doing.
Freak.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show here. How's everybody doing tonight?
How you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. How about you, Emo?
It's good to spend a good couple hours with you guys before tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
One more convention, one more day. Same location.
Okay. I see. Gotcha. We are just waiting for one more player. Yeah. We are just waiting on one more player right now, but I'll give him about 15 minutes or so. Rate depends, but we'll just hang out here for a little bit before we get started and all that good stuff. So, Emo, I was about to say this in the live chat, but I think you're one of the only people I know that likes Whammy better than President, actually.
Well, you saw my explanation for that, right?
Yeah, I did. I'm just letting the folks out there know that. I can't really remember another person that likes President. I mean, Whammy better than President. You know, but
well, I mean,
has,
my reasonings. Have you ever seen like anybody get close to hitting 4 whammies in the first round in the original?
Not that I remember of.
But it's a possibility.
Yes. And also, I feel like with Whammy 2, it's a little bit more fast pace. But that's just me. William, how are you doing tonight? I just want to say that here. That's good. Do you like to check out the? I know you're not a big game.
A big show game fan as much as you guys, but I mostly, when I was a child, I mostly watched Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Be like a channel where there would be like Jeopardy first, and then there would be Wheel of Fortune. Well, I mostly remember just like watching those back to back when I was a kid.
Okay. What was your Ryan Seacrest and Ken Jennings performance since the new era took over yet or no?
I don't think I have.
Okay. But what about you, Nicole? Have you seen Ryan Seacrest and Ken Jennings?
Yeah, I watched pretty much every episode.
Oh wow. Yeah, a lot of time on your hands. But oops. What about you, Emma? What do you think about them?
I'm fine with Ryan Seacrest. I wasn't sure at the beginning when Ken was hosting like how I felt that the greatest contestant of all time, as his title is like him hosting.
Yeah. I mean, he's the most recognized, contestant of Jeopardy of all time, really. I can't remember one other. I mean, yes, there's Jeopardy James, but that was there one. Back in 2019ish. But it's one of those things that I kind of wished Jeopardy just said right away after Alex Trebek passed away. The next host of Jeopardy is Ken Jennings, but he had to go through his hosting process. I mean, rotation of hosts, which is good for casual viewers, but as Jeopardy fans, I would have said, hey, how come we're waiting this long to for the next Jeopardy host? It's confusing. At the time anyway, but and also looking back, it's just my opinion. But we'll talk about that in one, but yep, so we have Whammy going on tonight. Like I said, we have Nickel here, William, and either Jesse or someone else will play. I'm just waiting to hear. Oh, who's this?
Hello, I'm Vince McMahon.
That is not how you sound.
I'm a little sick.
Are you actually sick like a certain someone with the H?
Oh no. Hi everybody.
I knew it.
Once again, I have to spend my
I knew it too.
I have to spend my Friday night doing on this show.
Nice to see you again.
Nicholas said it's nice to see you again.
Oh, of course.
So ready to have the game up, Emo? Some Whammy?
Okay.
That's the only reason. Oh. There we go. I don't see the screen, but
I just opened it.
so we're gonna see. It's gonna be either Danny, Nico, or William. So hopefully in person, but I gotta say that hopefully we'll have all three contestants end up with all the way.
I'm fine with that.
Anyway, watching this shenanigans here, so Emo, have fun hosting, and Sinead.
Ha. I keep making that mistake. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have our three contestants, or are we still waiting?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. It's Danny, Nicole, and William.
Okay. In that order?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so Danny, Nickel, they said?
Yeah, that's fine.
And Will.
William, you know how to play Whammy, don't you?
Yeah, it's kind of like what you call it?
Press your luck.
Press your luck, yeah.
Right.
All right, now, okay, so I can hear William, I can hear Danny. Let's see, can I hear Nickel very well?
Yeah. I'm ready for this.
Can
You may have to get closer to your mic, man.
I'm ready for this.
Wait, why can't I see his screen?
I just need to hear him, that's all. I don't have
Yes.
to see his screen.
Okay.
Here, Nickel, let me test this out. Can I still hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, that's all. That's
better
good.
than nothing.
Okay, good.
All right, in that case. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to another Whammy, the all-new Press Your Luck battle. Game where you can spin your way to big bucks and great prizes with a little bit of differences from the original Game Show Network show, Whammy. But here we have our three contestants. Danny.
Hello.
Nicole.
Heyo.
And William.
Yeah.
All right. I now ask all three of you, are you ready to press your luck?
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Now the game goes like this. Each of you have $1,000 to begin with. You can add to it by taking a chance on this big game board up here. Look at all the money and prizes that you can win. Each time you spin, you can add to your total by landing on a square that contains either a cash value or a prize, just like that. If, however, you land on the dreaded whammy, you'll come out and take own big bank, which begins at $5,000. You don't want to add to that, that's for sure. But if you land on the big bank square up here, well, very easily on this version, just like that, no questions. First round will have the advantage of going last in the final round. And Danny, we're going to start this game with you. You have $1,000. Let's put the big board in motion and see what you can add to it. Good luck.
Okay, big bucks. And top.
At 3,500. And now we're going to go to board. Stop it. Okay, 3,000.
Wow.
Yep, just yell stop if you can. Just very clearly so I can hear you. All right, you're up to $4,000, Nickel. And now we're going to William. William, you have $1,000. Here comes your first spin.
All right, big bucks, big bucks. No whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Stop at an inkjet printer that is worth $1,100.
Okay.
All right, that puts you at $2,100. We've gone down the line very good. Not a single whammy was hit, but things are going to get tougher, however, because more whammies are coming on the board. Here they come. From here on out, players, remember, you can freeze at any time if you're afraid of that whammy, or if you think you got enough to win the round, or you can press your luck again and try to grab some more. Now, Danny, you have second place for now, 3,500. Do you want to freeze, or do you want to press your luck?
I want to play.
Let's go.
All right, big bucks. Let's get some money, please. And stop.
Stop at a karaoke system worth $1,260.
Is it Voca Pro? Is it Voca Pro?
Huh?
Is it a Voca Pro karaoke system?
We don't know.
yeah, exactly. We don't know. But there you are, $4,760 for Danny. And now we go to you, Nickel. You have 4,000. Do you want to freeze or do you want to press your luck?
I want to press my luck.
Let's go. Stop. Whoa. What? Okay, stop at a video game console that is worth $950. Whew, that was a close one. All right. There you have it, $4,950. All right. That's better. Okay. And now we go to you, William. $2,100. What do you want to do? Freeze or press your luck?
I'll play this one.
Here we go.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop!
Stop! Oh! First whammy of the game.
What whammy do we have to show for today?
Ouch.
Magician.
Okay, first of all, how can that little orange little turret fit inside that hat? Here goes my first
The
one.
big bank is now at $7,100. Now, you're not out of the game, okay? You're just out of this first round for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, now, unfortunately, we got to add more whammies to the board.
Oh, great.
Make it harder for the remaining two competitors in this first round. Danny, you have $4,760. What do you want to do?
I'm going to freeze.
You're going to freeze. Interesting. Okay, Danny, you are frozen at $4,760. And now, Nickel, we're on to you. You have the lead right now, $4,950. You can freeze and have the advantage of going last in the final round, or you can press your luck again and try to grab more. What do you want to do?
I'm going to go for the rule of three and press my luck.
Oh, here we go. Stop at $2,000.
Good Lord.
All right, you're now at $6,950. Nice job, Nickel. but now we got to add more whammies to the board.
Fair enough.
All right. What do you want to do? 6,950.
I'm gonna freeze.
Also freeze. Okie dokie. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. What the? Oh.
Did you get rid of a score? Oh, good.
Okay. That's better. Somebody
Yeah.
edit that out, please.
It's better.
Okay. All right. You are now frozen, nickel, at 6,950. That's better. All right. At the end of that first round, we have William $0 and a whammy. Danny in second place with 4,760. Nickel in first place with 6,950 and $7,100 in the big bank. And now we're going to go to our spin round, everybody. Our spin round. This gives all three of you 5 chances to earn some spins for the final round of the game. The more spins you have, the better chance you have of winning. So we're going to get our first chance going with you, Danny. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We need some spins, please. And stop.
All right, 1 spin. That's a good start for you. Very good start. Put you at 1 spin. Nickel, here comes your first chance at some spins right now. Oh, that's a good one. 3 for you. All right. Nice job, Nickel. And now, William, here comes your first try at some spins.
Stop.
Okay, 1 spin, plus you get to spin again. Let's go again.
Stop.
And another spin for you. That puts you at 2 spins, William. Now, everybody gets another chance. Here comes your second chance, Danny. Let's go.
I want to spin. And stop.
And you got to spin. That's 2 spins now. Now, Nickel, here comes your second chance at some spins right now.
Stop.
Ooh. That's all right. You still have 3 spins and you still have more chances. It's okay. William, here comes your second chance.
Stop.
All right, 1 spin for you. Puts you at 3 spins as well. Now for everybody's third chance at some spins. Danny, let's go.
Big spins, please. And stop.
3 for you.
Awesome.
Put you at 5. And now, Nickel, here comes your third try at some spins right now. 1 spin, plus you get to spin again, Nickel. Let's go. And another spin for you. You are now tied with Danny at 5 spins. Now, William, let's see. Try to grab more spins. Let's go.
Stop.
3. That puts you at 6 spins, just like that. 2 more chances for everybody. Danny, here comes your 4th try right now.
Here we go. So come on, man. Stop.
3 spins, just like that. Woo! Puts you at 8 spins. Nickel, can we get more spins for you? Let's find out. Here we go. All right, 1 spin, plus you get to spin again. Here we go. Another spin, plus spin again. Here we go.
Stop.
And 1 more spin there. Puts you at 8 as well.
Try it again.
Okay, William, here comes another chance. 4th chance right here. Here we go.
Stop.
3. All right, puts you at 9 spins, William. 1 more chance for everybody to pick up some spins. All right, Danny, Let's
Okay.
go.
And stop.
All right, 1 spin that puts you at 9 spins to take. Not very bad. Not bad at all.
No.
Nickel, you have 8 spins. Here comes your final chance right now. All right, 1 spin that puts you at 9 as well. Now, is this going to be all 9 spins for everybody, or will William have 1 more or 3 more? Let's find out. William, final go at some spins. Let's see it.
Stop.
Whoa, there's another 3 right there. And there you are, 12 spins. At the end of all that, as you can tell, everybody, Danny and Nickel 9 spins. William with a big 8 spins. Danny and Nickel at 9 spins. William with a big 12 spins to take into the final round. All right. Speaking of the final round, let's get there right now. Okay. As you can tell, players, we have more money, more prizes up for grabs. Yes, we have some whammies, but we also have some double whammies. A double whammy here, you'll have to find out if you ever land on one in a bit. But they're also here to grab everything and put it in the big bank, which is currently at $7,100. If you rack up a total of 4 whammies, you'll be out of the game. William, be careful. You already have 1. The big bank square is still up there waiting to be grabbed. And there's more strategy in this final round, because now you can pass your spins to the opponent in the lead in hopes that they hit a whammy. And the leader must take those spins that have been passed to him. Now, Nickel, since you have the lead currently, $6,950, you're going to go last in this round. And William, $0, 1 whammy, 12 spins. You're going to go first. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's put the big board in motion. Here we go.
But no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. And stop.
Stop at 6,000 and a spin. All right. Puts you in second place. 6 grand. Still 12 spins. Press your luck or pass.
I'll play this one.
Here we go.
But no whammies. No whammies. Stop. Stop.
Stop at a double whammy.
Uh-oh.
My goodness, look at that. Well, that's just not good.
And the big bank is now at $13,100. And William, this is what's going to happen. You've got to take a danger spin.
Man.
And it goes like this. In a danger spin, if you land on a prize, that prize is going to go to the player who spun before you, and that was in the first round, Nickel. Land on a cash amount, it'll go to both Nickel and Danny. If you land on another whammy, that depends. A regular whammy is just going to give you another whammy. Another double whammy, however, is going to give you 2 more whammies, and that will be it. The only thing that can really save you is if you hit that big bank. And yes, that 13,100 is the only thing you can add to your score. Got that?
Okay.
With that said, William, let's take that danger spin right now.
Come on. Big bucks. No whammies. Stop.
Oh!
Another one.
Oh, not my night today. My God.
It's done.
Slide.
My God.
Well,
Yep.
do I just move? I should just, maybe I should move on to fuck.
Yeah, really.
All right. With that said, let's go to you, Danny. You have 4,760, 9 spins. What do you want to do?
I want to play.
Let's go.
All right, big bucks. We want some money, or maybe a trip. And stop, please.
$3,500.
Alrighty.
That puts you at $8,260. 8 spins remaining, Danny. What do you want to do? Press your luck or pass?
I want to play.
Let's go.
All right. I want to hit that 10 grand. And stop.
Stop at a regular whammy.
All right.
And I'd like to thank my agent, but most of all, yeah!
That's a good one.
And that money goes into the big bank. 21,360. All right, 7 spins, Danny. You can try to get yourself back into it if you'd like. What do you want to do?
Yeah, we have to keep going.
Let's go.
All right, let's go with some money. Maybe that Martha's Vineyard trip. Let's see what happens. So come on and stop.
Stop at an electric guitar worth
Epiphone.
$3,200. All right, 6 spins remaining. What do you want to do now, Danny?
Let's play again.
Let's go.
All right. It's scary, so we gotta play. So come on and stop.
Stop it! Oh, whammy.
That's okay. That's okay.
Who's one spin short of being the winner? Bye-bye.
Gotta love that one.
And where's the big bank at now? 24,560.
It's crazy.
Okay. 5 spins remaining, Danny.
I want to play.
Let's go.
All right, come on. We got the whammies out of the way. I want 10,000 bucks for the big bank, so come on and stop. Oh, not another one.
Well, Danny, here's a dangerous situation you're in.
Right.
How do you want to do this?
Well, first, I want to say this is what I have to say about the whammies. First of all, and let's well, I let's go one more time.
Here we go.
One more time. Come on, no whammies, please. We got 3 in a row. That's fine. We just need the money. Stop.
All right, there is $1,800.
All right.
Up to 1,800. 3 spins remaining, Danny. What do you want to do?
Let's go one more time.
Here we go.
All right. Please. Stay away, whammy. So come on. And stop.
Stop at 2,000 in a spin.
All right.
Still 3 spins. $3,800. Danny, what do you want to do?
Still have 3 left. Let's go.
Oh, here we go. He's going again. He's going again.
Let's go with M&M World. I want all the M&Ms. And stop.
$2,000. Up to $5,800, Danny. 2 spins remaining. Press your luck or pass.
I think I want to pass now.
He's going to pass. He's passing to Nickel. All right.
Okay, I'm
Nickel,
ready.
those are 2 spins. You have to take $6,950.
I'll take the 2 spins now.
All right. Yep, we're taking it right now. Stop at $2,000 up to $8,950. One more spin you have to take. Here comes. Stop at a trip to Martha's Vineyard that's worth $7,000.
That's good for me.
You're up to $15,950, Nickel. 9 spins in the earn column. What do you
Let's
want to do?
another spin. Let's do another spin.
He's going to go. Oh, man.
Stop.
Stop at a ruby and diamond ring worth $2,200. Puts you at $18,150, Nickel. 8 spins remaining. What are you going to do?
I will do just one more.
All right, he's going to do one more.
Stop.
Stop at a trip to Singapore worth $3,238. $21,388. Just like that. Nickel, 7 spins remaining. What are you going to do now?
I'd like to pass him.
He's going to pass. Danny, those 7 spins now go to you.
Okay.
Those are 7 spins you have to take, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See if you can try to avoid that whammy. Here
right.
comes your first of those 7 spins.
All right, big tank. That's fine. And stop.
Stop, and that's it.
Kirsten, your second whammy there cost.
Oh. And just like that, the game ends that easily. And Nickel, congratulations, 21,388.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's take a look at what you've won. You won a video game console, a trip to Martha's Vineyard, and Singapore. And you also won a ruby and diamond ring. Both these prizes total $13,388. Combined with the $8,000 in cash you won, gives you a grand total of $21,388. Well done, Nickel.
This was an amazing time.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's give a round. Let's give a round of applause. There you go.
Yeah, William and Danny, it was a great effort.
Right.
Despite all that.
Yep.
And Brandon, do you remember what DSN did on April Fool's Day in 2003?
I think it had something to do with like a Todd Newton face square or something.
Todd Newton. No. Well, all the hosts hosted each other's shows. So Todd Newton hosted Russian Roulette, and Graham Melwood from Cram hosted Whammy. But Todd hosting Russian Roulette was hilarious.
That is true. Oh. Are we just gonna show this, or?
Yeah. That's fine.
Well,
yeah, David, okay. You were funny with your monologue.
All right, I'm just gonna. There you go.
Anyway, we are gonna play the baseball segment here, since it's almost there to 12 o'clock, and we don't, that. Is there oh, Danny, I want to ask you this. While I look this up, and I asked, let's talk about this earlier. With we all know about the Jeopardy thing back in 2021.
Right.
Was that a good idea that they decided?
Okay, see you, William.
See you.
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Was that a good idea that Jeopardy decided to do the rotation host instead of like? I mean, I know they still had shows to film, but like at the same time, like they kept having people like waiting for the next host and all that. Like as for Jeopardy fans in general, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know why I decided we had to wait like a season plus in order to find that next host. So is there anything that they could have done better or?
Well, I give them credit because they didn't. Well, because their host literally passed away on them.
Yeah.
And I thought they wanted. I guess the people wanted a fair contest, so they didn't just want to anoint Ken Jennings. They wanted to give him a fair. They wanted to give everyone else a fair chance, so they gave Mike Richards and then Dr. Oz, and then Anderson Cooper did it for a while. Buzzy Cohen did a few weeks. Then
Katie Ford was on too.
Yeah. LeVar Burton, I think, did it. Yes, he did.
And then Mayim and Ken did like a few weeks switching. It was between Tournament Champions and the other.
Yes.
Yeah. It's it was interesting for casual fans, but what I'm talking about is for Jeopardy fans in general. Like, if I was a Jeopardy fan, like, I wish that I didn't have to wait that long for that next host reveal.
Yeah, and I wish that they had more college episodes too, because it really wants to show that the youngest people can be part of the monoculture. In fact, I'm going to argue that Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, and Family Feud are like the last bits of monoculture in the television industry.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens down the road. Which by that I mean we'll see how many years that Ken Jennings will host Jeopardy. How old is he then? He's like in his.
He's 51. 51. I want to say.
Okay. Well, we'll see how much longer he. Trebek did it until he died, so maybe like another 30 years or something.
We'll see.
Who knows?
Unless they replace Ken. Hopefully they don't replace Ken with an AI Alex Trebek in 5 years, but we'll see.
And
that's not going to happen.
And I still kind of miss the chase when we saw him and the others competing with the other trivia guests.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the chase too.
But that's going to be it for this episode, this part here, and we'll be right back with our closing part after the weekly baseball rundown. So,
see you. Good night.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Have a good one, guys.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but we'll try this again. We're back from the baseball deadline special earlier this afternoon. Plenty of trades, including, I don't know if you've heard about this one yet, Jesse, but we are talking about Carlos Correa back to the Astros from Minnesota. Minnesota gives up $33 million. Astros give up a 26-year-old left-hander from Single A. You want to talk about getting fleeced? That's more than one way. But another big team, the Mets, they cleaned up a little bit themselves. They're holding on for dear life right now. Right behind. Come on. Stupid recording.
What happened?
Yeah, it's saying recording error, but it's still going.
Let's just go with it. I'll check.
No, if it's still going, that's fine. But the Mets cleaned up pretty well. The White Sox, they're 29 under, but that's vast improvement. They're doing better. They're not 52 under like the Rockies are right now. The Cubs, they're still in the playoff hunt. This is going from trade deadline to playoff race baseball. August 1st to September 1st, the next month of days is going to be big baseball for these folks here. If they know, they already know it, and the heart is pounding right here. But we're going to talk about teams today a little bit because it's trade deadline, and hey, I love you too, but please don't get in the camera shot, okay? Yeah. My assistant general manager, ladies and gentlemen.
What's
Okay.
that camera attention?
That's my kitty. It's my kitty. But as I was saying before, the cat wanted pets. We're going to talk about teams today and the good and the bad that's gone on. I'm going to go with the biggest additions so far. I'm going to start off with Kurt and the biggest takeaways for him for the Mets from the trade deadline.
Well, first one is Cedric Mullins, which, and also the most recent one. It was almost a surprise as who they didn't get because they were in the talking with the White Sox about Luis Robert Jr. That didn't happen. My understanding is the reason was the White Sox were asking for too much in return. So the Mets instead spin it over to Mullins, his career track's not similar to Robert's. He's had one real great year and a lot of okay years. The difference is Mullins is a rental. His contract ends at the end of the year, so they did not give up a whole lot for him. I'm looking at ESPN right now, if my computer were working accurately, and they gave the Mets a B for that trade. They also picked up from the Cardinals I think it's Ryan Helsley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And a couple of other guys as well. So they got some bullpen help, which they needed. I think they would have loved to have gotten another starter, but I don't think they were willing to give up too much in order to do so. The Mets may be a little gun shy on some of these trades. As you remember, a couple of years ago, they traded Pete Crow Armstrong, who admittedly had only batted maybe a few dozen times for the organization, for about 2 months of Javier Baez's company. So I think you don't want to take a chance of giving away somebody who's going to wind up being a superstar. So on the whole, I think they did okay. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that they cleaned up quite a bit. Today seemed to be like the day that every bullpen just said, hey, let's go shopping. Let's sell everything. It's a yard sale. Unless you're a Twins fan.
It never hurts to have more arms, and it's easier to find arms, bullpen arms, than it is starting rotation arms.
And you're right about that. Today was an arms race if I've ever seen one. Jesse, I'll let you talk about your Astros because I have a feeling the Astros, they needed pitching help badly, and they needed help where they needed it the most, and they got it with this trade deadline.
Yeah, they got Carlos Correa back, and then we got a utility infielder from the Orioles, Urias, and then we got a trade. We got an outfielder from the Astros. Let's see, who did we get?
I believe his name was Jesus Sanchez.
Yeah, Jesus Sanchez. For the right-handed Ryan Gusto, infielder Chase Jaworski. He's his number 13 prospect per MLB pipeline, and outfielder Esmael Valencia. So the Astros did pretty good this year. And they got Carlos Correa for next to nothing.
I think the absolute world of general managers, but that is the biggest mistake that the Twins GM could have made. They only paid $33 million, but they got a single A prospect for that. I think the Astros, deservingly so this time, will have a better player playing third base. That's not named Alex Bregman, at least. Okay. I'm going to go over to the first of the Chicago, to the north side and south side. I'm going to go with Josh this time because the Cubs, they made quite a few changes of their own, creative changes.
Okay, from what I'm seeing here, I'm on Cubs.com right now taking a look at it. We did DFA Ryan Presley, which is kind of strange to me to do that. We also DFA'd. Who did we DFA? I just lost it. But yeah, the DFA of Ryan Presley was kind of strange to me because I would have given him more work. But we did acquire Willie Castro, another pitcher reliever. Let's see who else we picked up here. We picked up Mike Soroka, former White Sox, back in the bullpen. And let's see here. What else do I see? Those are the two big ones that I saw most recently today. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because when you look at somebody's stats, it's kind of hard. I'm one of those people that want to see the player for myself before I make any judgment.
See, and I like that about certain people. They pass the eye test. That was the thing with Scots for years. It's just like, oh, do they pass the eye test? Are they handsome? Are they ugly? Do they have a girlfriend? Are they married? Do they have kids? Just like, don't worry about their private life. As long as they don't have somebody hiding in their closet while their wife's at home, you're fine. But good God. Okay. Now that I've gone through the three big ones here, I'm going to go over to the south side here with Brandon. I know the White Sox didn't do much, but they made a bit of a splash now with their going to win and lose game season, 60 or more at this rate. So let's see.
I think they are going to win more than 60 games this year. I could definitely see like 66, 67 at this point. They've played really well ever since the All-Star break ended. We just took 2 out of 3 from Philadelphia. But anyway, now into the trade deadline news. The big talk with the White Sox is, are they going to trade Luis Robert? We did not. We kept him. We were asking too much. Teams were asking for too much. The Mets were in there. I know the Phillies were in there. I know several other teams were looking for his services, and none of them got him. But we did trade the one player that I thought that was going to be out, and that was Adrian Hauser. We traded Adrian Hauser to the Tampa Bay Rays in exchange for Curtis Mead and 2 right-handed pitching prospects in Duncan Davitt and Ben Peoples. Curtis Mead, let's talk about him. He's been up at the major league level already. He's played 111 games spread out through 3 major league seasons, batting .238, .307 slugging, .322 on base, while rotating between first, second, and third base. So he's played a lot in the infield. He was a top 100 prospect for 3 years running. He was number 33 before the 2023 season. AAA, he was hitting a lot better. So maybe we might send him back down to AAA, and he might become another Miguel Vargas type of player. So we'll see what happens with him. And, Davitt is 25 years old. He's been in AAA. So is Ben Peoples. He's been in AAA as well. So, we'll see what happens with these 2 guys. We did trade Austin Slater over to the Yankees. But other than that, it was definitely a much less quieter deadline for the White Sox than I thought it would be. I just don't think that this core right now is ready to can win on a consistent basis. But what I've seen from the All-Star break onward is, it's promising. And Colson Montgomery's been on fire too, and I've been really impressed with how he's been going.
That's all you can really hope for, because at this point in the season right now, they have almost as many wins now as they did the entire last season combined. Pretty much. One more win, and they've already won as many games as they did last year. But for all the teams going around now, there was players who didn't get traded. Specifically, one of them was Dylan Cease. And again, this is the eye test, the stat test. Dylan Cease, pitching for a team that's in second place in the NL West, he hasn't been getting much run support at all from his Padres team, who also pretty much cleaned house. They required the Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn to work on their offense. But when your best pitcher is 3-10, has an ERA almost 5, you have someone there who should have wanted him. That's why when I look at Boston today, and Boston making the Dustin May trade they did better doing that than going after Joe Ryan. I'm not saying the Twins, who traded away 10 players today, are going to be worse for wear, but their returns better be worth what they traded away. Because the biggest mistake trade I thought of today was going to be Carlos Correa, but it's not. And David, no, I'm not ashing Breslow for this trade, but the Steven Matz trade. Steven Matz has been in St. Louis for 4 seasons now, made $11 million a year, and he's only made 38 starts out of his 84 appearances in the Cardinal Red. He got traded for a 22-year-old prospect with big pop named Blaze Jordan.
He's going to be good.
Guy too. Yeah. Big bat for a big guy. He can play the infield. He can also DH when it comes to that future. But I'm not trading a 34-year-old Steven Matz. I'm not trying to get a 34-year-old pitcher for a 22-year-old. I know parades over prospects. Here's the problem. If you can't make it to the big dance, you can't have a parade for the big dance. That's why trade deadline, draft day, all of those 3 come together in October. That's why you got to be sure. That's why the Mets went and picked up who they picked up. That's why the Cubs went and got bullpen help and infield help. That's why Chicago is improving. They're not pushing their future down the road. And then the Astros, they have Jeremy Pena on the IL because he just got injured. They have Mauricio Dubon and Zach Short. When Pena comes back in a couple of days, they'll be better off because now they have a third baseman not named Isaac Paredes who can actually play third base and is healthy. Every one of these teams here made their push for the playoffs. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, and Brandon, I'm going to include you because I have a feeling the White Sox will make a playoff push next season, at least get close. But first, I'm going to start with Jesse. How far do you think your team is going? This is now pretty much closing the book on July 31st. We're headed towards August, the dog days of summer. Where do you think your team is going to end up in the playoffs, and do you think they're going to make it as far as you feel they are? Jesse, I'll start with you. Houston made a few trades. How far do you see them going with them leading the division over the Mariners right now?
I think they'll make it to the second round of the playoffs. It's just that lately we just haven't been doing well in the. I mean, we had a playoff exit last year. It's just we've been losing a lot of key players. Our bullpen's been depleted due to injuries. You know, we just got McCullers back, and he's still trying to find his himself. So I'm guessing maybe the second round or possibly a World Series, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for the Astros.
See, that's an honest man right there, and I like that. He has faith in his team, but he knows there's going to be some drawbacks, some false starts with their team in the playoffs. I like that analysis. Thank you, Jesse. Kurt, you're up next. How far do you think the Mets are going to go after all those moves they made today?
Mets made it to the NLCS last year, and honestly, I see them going there again this year. They're weak in a few spots. I would have loved to have seen them pick up another bat, but on the other hand, I don't know where you put that other bat unless maybe Eugenio Suarez somehow miraculously went over there. But I guess the Mets figure they already have enough third basemen and they really don't need another one on top of that. The issue is for this year right now, the Mets actually have the best home record in the league. I'm looking at the standings right now. They are in the best record in the majors for a home team. They're 37-16. But you know what? That means they're 25-31 on the road. I'm hoping they'll turn that around a little bit, but honestly, I think this might either be Milwaukee or Chicago's year to make it to the World Series.
I like that incentive that that either one of those teams can make it. I honestly thought the Mets had their year last year where they were going to beat LA and make it to the World Series. I thought last year was going to be their year, but some things change, some things don't. I don't think the Dodgers are going to make it
last year by how things turned out for the Mets. But if they make it only to the NLCS this year, the fan base isn't going to be quite as thrilled. I don't think they're as World Series or nothing oriented as the Yankee fans, but they're expecting a little more this year, I would think. We'll see.
I like that. I like that, though. You know that there's other teams that are just as good as the Mets are, and it's not World Series or bust. It's get over the hump first and then get to the big one, if that's the way it's got to be. Josh, I'm going to do you last because I know the Cubs are getting there, but they have to fight their way for their right to play in the playoffs.
Yes, they do, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Yes. For the White Sox now, I know they aren't going to the playoffs this year, Brandon. But this is not a hypothetical thing. This is putting together one step at a time and pushing and knocking on the Twins. You knock on that door and you say, we're moving up. You tell the Tigers and the Royals, we're moving up. Next year could be better. Where do you see them going?
Here's the thing. I don't think people realize how weak the American League truly is, especially this season. It's the weakest it's been in I don't know how many years. The AL Central has been weak for many years at this point. The Tigers are leading the division by what, like 14, 15 games? The Twins just sold off basically all of their big players except Byron Buxton. The Guardians are really not going anywhere this year. The Royals aren't doing anything this year. You know, if the Sox can continue to build off this momentum that we've gotten ever since the end of the All-Star break, and if our prospects just, you know, come into their own, again, Colson Montgomery's been playing great. If Kyle Teal can continue to hit the ball, if Edgar Cuero can continue to hit the ball, Tim Elko, all these guys, like if, you know, we can end the year again with like 66, 67 wins, I have a lot of optimism going into next season. Now, granted, are we going to be a playoff team in 2026? I don't think so. I still think we're maybe a year or two away, especially with, you know, Noah Schultz still yet to come up, Hagen Smith still yet to come up, Braden Montgomery still hasn't come up yet. And just if we can, you know, just light a fire under Luis Roberts' butt or something, since we're keeping him now, I think 2027 is when we could see this team back in the playoffs again with this core of guys.
After his baseball in 2027.
I like that.
Oh, if there is, with the lockout looming.
Yeah, that makes a good point because next season is going to be tough for a lot of teams now because I think that last Soto signing with the $765 million kind of pissed off owners just a little bit because now the threat of a salary cap, and I hoped for it in football because of the whole Mahomes thing with his $500 million contract, but I hope there's baseball in 2026 and for the future, but not with Manfred as commissioner. It's going to be another lockout, more than likely. But I'll get back to the topic at hand. Josh, your Cubs, second place now. Milwaukee caught up them Brew Crew guys. Let's see what you have in store.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. After watching the games after the All-Star break, we're having to claw our way back to that first place spot because of the pesky Brewers. But here's why: I've seen a lot of hitters go cold. Seiya Suzuki's gone cold. Dansby Swanson's gone cold. Pete Crow Armstrong in the last Milwaukee game was making really. I don't want to call it egregious, but I'll use the word. It's stuff that should be easy baseball, but he was having trouble in Milwaukee finding that wall in center field and making those catches. That's going to cost us in the long run. So if we have to claw our way up, I hope we get to at least the first round of the playoffs, but I'm not being optimistic here. We just have to see how it plays out because each game is different, and they've had to struggle for it since the All-Star break, and they've struggled hard for it.
I think this season, especially, and I think Brandon's right, the American League is the weakest it's been since the 1980s. And that's saying something because the last major strike that was in 1994 was 1981, where it was split into 2 separate seasons. And this is something that I don't like that the minor leagues do. Whoever wins in the first half gets their playoff spot. Whoever wins in the second half of the season gets their playoff spot. Don't do that crap.
No.
Don't do that. That I'm against. Now that we've talked about this stuff, I'm going to let this guy right here. He wants a little bit of time to talk. So, David.
So, basically, I want to say about 2 things. First, MLB on Fox, you decided to have a leaked draft tweet public for all Red Sox fans to see for a couple minutes about Joe Ryan, getting acquired to the Red Sox. That was full crap, man. You guys have made my list because you never do that. Trick fans like that of a trade that I thought was actually happened because I trust MLB on Fox. But no, they decided to prank Boston and just decided to, think that we actually got Joe Ryan, but in reality, we did not. So, to that admin on MLB on Fox, you've just made my list. I'll say that appropriately. But the other thing I want to say, I'm glad that we got at least an extra arm in the bullpen. Yet not much, proposal for us to accept that as a big trade, as it were, because we unfortunately had to get rid of Blaze Jordan, who I really liked, watching him grow up in Portland going into Worcester. But then again, we do need extra help in the bullpen with Liam Hendricks down and all that, and also with the future. So we'll see what happens with that. And let's see who else. Dustin May. I'm glad we actually got an extra starting pitcher because that's what we needed as well. But I mean, Dustin May, I watched him. When I watched the games of the Dodgers, he has decent experience, pitching wise, but with his past injury, history, that's what concerns me a little bit. But if he's younger and better than Joe Ryan, then I'll take it. But actually, I want to say to Craig Breslow, you could do way better than this. You have all the money in the world, and for the past 2 years, you've been mediocre at the trade deadline. At least you did something valuable this year than last year, and also we kept our key players. They not traded away Kevin Durant because that would have been the end of it. But still, just remember for next year, just do something that the Red Sox did 20 years ago. You know what that was? Spending money. And back in 2021 is a great example. We got Kyle Schwarber and other pieces, and guess what? We went to the championship round. So that's all I have to say. I'm glad that we got some help and at least one trade today, but still, it just made me miserable just waiting for something to happen. Not like the old school days where we spent all this money, but Sean Henry doesn't want to spend it anymore. That's all I have to say.
Okay. So, in the next couple minutes, I'm not really going to talk much about this topic, but my prediction now for these guys and where their teams are going for their future in general. Boston will finish in the second wild card if they keep it up. The Cubs will have a dogfight ahead of them. They will either win the division or have that stupid 3-game playoff to deal with. Whatever happens is going to happen, and they are their own. They control their own destiny. For Houston, they just have to keep the Mariners and the Rangers behind them for the rest of the season, and they'll make it to the playoffs regardless. For the Mets, Philadelphia is not their biggest threat right now. The second Philly slips even a little bit, the Mets will be right back in this because they don't have any other teams to worry about except for themselves and Philly. It's just going to be those two teams going on, and I have a feeling the Mets are going to make the playoffs regardless, but they're going to have to work for it like they have before. And if Soto wants to actually get off his butt and do something about it, I'm sure fans will like him better for it. But the Mets will make the playoffs. For the White Sox, I think within the next season or two, they will be ready. They will be ready. It doesn't take much. But when a team trades away just about every asset they have, I think the Twins are going to go through a rebuild. And that's going to hurt them the most. Because they trade away Duran, they trade away Varland, and Baltimore is going through the rebuild phase too. My biggest problem is this. If you're still close, try for a piece or two. The Twins are only 9 games under 500 at 50 and 59. They blew it up. Why the hell are you blowing it up when you're only 9 games under 500? Oh, my God. They're making Florida and Miami from the late 90s, early 2000s seem like they're geniuses now. And that was Jeffrey Loria. I'm sure the Mets were thanking him every single day that time, but Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these owners and general managers? I'm sorry. I'll be nice. At least the Mets have a competent one. The White Sox owner's a jag-off just because Michael Jordan made him look good, same with Scottie Pippen. But now that we're at this point, Chicago lost a legend this week, folks. The number 23 means a lot in Chicago. It wasn't just for Michael Jordan. It meant a lot because of Ryan Sandberg. Ryan Sandberg was fighting cancer for the longest time. Unfortunately, the big man up in the sky said, I need Rhino to play second base for my future. So, Ryan Sandberg, you were a great Cub. Yes, you had some stuff happen that though you had under your control, but you were a great second baseman. And just for the last about 15 seconds or so, I'd like to have a moment of silence if possible, if you guys want. Okay. Thank you all for this week, for the trade deadline, and I hope you guys enjoy the next 65, 70 games or so, because this is where the game goes not being called a marathon anymore. It's now a sprint. Tie your shoelaces, wear your best running shoes, because it's all downhill from here for certain teams. And sometimes it's a long way to the top. This is the weekly baseball rundown. Our deadline is passed, and we're ready for the future. Good night, everybody. Thank you again for coming on. Have a good night.